Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Good to have you. This is the season finale of Sister Wives. Season 15, episode 10 and 11. Polygamy hell, y'all. And everything's upside down. Whew. This was the most honest of all the Sister Wife seasons. I think we are like finally getting the real story. Okay. Um, we have been watching this family for years. I think, Lord, I wish they could go on Dr. Phil. I wish they could go on Dr. Phil. And I think Dr. Phil would say, y'all are finally getting real. Y'all are finally getting real. Janelle continued her communication tour with all, she's been talking to all the wives. She had one left, Mary. So she goes, over to Mary's house and talks about how she, is trying to, and I think it's good when you can realize that you're weak in an area and then, tell people, hey, I want to improve. So I think Janelle is on the right road. Honestly, I think that everybody sees this train is fixing to crash. And um, the ones that care are trying to do something about it. And I think this is Janelle's attempt to do something about it. Can we get Cody an antidepressant? Oh my God. If, we had kind of been questioning it through the season, like, oh, Cody seems depressed. Oh, I think Cody's having a midlife crisis. No, Cody needs an antidepressant. He is not in a good place. He is saying, fuck it all. Fuck all four of these wives and 18 kids. He is about ready to run off to Mexico. Okay. He is screaming for help. Screaming. So anyway, Janelle is on her communication tour and she goes over to Mary and said, and it's a really good, they want to have rules for when they talk about something because you have to imagine when you have five adults trying to make life decisions, five adults, 18 kids. Now, I would say most of you are probably in a monogamous relationship. You probably have one husband to discuss things with. Perhaps you co-parent. So you may have, another set of adults. Me and my husband, we have the wonderful privilege of having two baby daddies to co-parent with. And so, we have to include other adults in life decisions for our kids. And it's hard. It's hard when it's two people. It's definitely hard when it's five people. So they just want to make rules for when they are talking about something so they can like actually get to a decision. Because I think as a group they have a hard time doing that. Okay. So the pretty much the first it was two episodes for the season finale, and they just showed them back to back, and we're just going to talk about it all. So pretty much the first episode was talking about the communication. So they all go out onto their land, Coyote Pass, and it felt like a team building exercise at work where they passed out the Sharpies and then they had the big, pad of paper that they're going to write on. That so, but whatever. They need some team building activities. Okay. So they were trying to write out rules for when they talk about something, and Cody, bless his little non-medicated heart, although his hair was looking better, y'all. Did y'all hear that in the background? Did y'all notice this? Okay, so I have a theory about Cody's hair, and you can let me know in the comments whether or not you agree. But do you know how sometimes his hair looks like ramen? It looks real dry, and I don't know. I think he has different products at different wives' houses, and I think that's affecting how his hair is looking. And I don't know who has the ramen noodle products at their house, they need to throw that out. So if we have to look at all that hair, I at least want to look at, like, curls, not something that's going to make me think of ramen the whole time. Anyway, so Cody basically does not want to participate in the activity. He says that they don't share the same basic values, and they can't. And can they get everyone to agree on the prevention of the spread of COVID? So he's just pissed off about a whole bunch of different reasons. And he's wanting to run away to Mexico, maybe with or without Robin, who knows. Um, and he is just a sourpuss. He's just a sourpuss. There's really no other way to say it. They are fighting amongst themselves about how they are going to handle COVID, which, it's hard. It's hard. I'm sure, you have friends that handled it differently than you, or family members, and it's hard. And when you have a family spread out into four different houses, um, and you're all taking different measures, it does affect the way that you're able to interact with each other. So um, they're just having a hard time because Christine is continuing to travel, and she's not hunkering down. She's not hunkering down like some of the other wives. And so it's making where Cody can't go over there, and it's just causing a lot of awkwardness between them all. So I think that COVID has just taken all their underlying problems, really, and it's just kind of bloated up. Like whatever was going on at your house, COVID, when you had to stay at home and deal with it 24/7, it just kind of really, you know, brought it into focus because you had no escape, right? Because you couldn't leave the house. So they are having to deal with all of their family stuff right now. So Cody's upset because he wants everyone to basically hunker down and wait for him to come visit them. Like, don't go anywhere, don't do anything, don't see anyone else, so I can come see you. And it's just really not that important to a lot of them. And even the siblings are missing seeing each other, but not missing seeing their dad. And Cody just gets a cry me a river because nobody will do what he says so they can see him. So nobody wants Rom and Cody at their house for quarantine. So there were two big discussions, really, in this season finale, besides the fact of how to handle COVID and, what they were going to do as a family about that. So there were two uh, big events, I would say. One being the discussion about Isabel's surgery. Now, Isabel is a child of Christine and Cody's. And if you remember from several episodes ago, this young lady has multiple sclerosis, which is a curvature in your spine. And she had gotten diagnosed with it. And they had told her, if it gets worse, you're going to need to have surgery or think about it. And so she had had problems with it and had done the exercises and wore the brace and all of that. And so apparently Isabel has gotten to the point where she's in a lot of pain a lot of the time. So it was time to have the surgery. So they are discussing it with Isabel as parents, and apparently because they didn't have insurance or something. They needed insurance, and then they needed like a $50,000 down payment. And I'm sure if you read stuff on the internet like I do, then you've read all about that. And Christine coming up with the money, and so Christine's like, finally, well, we needed insurance, and I got that, and then we needed the down payment, and I got that. So it's really like she's a single mom, and she's just letting the dad know. And so they're like, okay, well, we're going to schedule the surgery. It's going to be like in September. We have to fly to New Jersey, but that's okay because I guess Christine has a sister that lives there or something, so we're going to stay with her. And Cody somehow takes this young lady's remarkable struggle and makes it about him. And then he suggests that they just send the child. She's not of age. She's probably like maybe 15. That they just send her by herself to have the surgery. Okay. And then he's like, well, why can't you just wait? And she's like, well, I'm in pain. And I've already waited 9 months for, basically you and mom to get y'all shit together, although the young lady did not say that. But she's been in pain for 9 months waiting on them to get the down payment and the insurance together and stuff or whatever. And she wants to have the surgery, and he is somehow, and he's like, well, you have the whole family to think about, and da da da. No, your family doesn't want you to be in pain. So he just handled it in the most insensitive way. And Christine, bless her heart, she sat there and didn't cuss him out. Um, that's where you can tell they've got a little bit of religion in them, because I would have cussed his ass out. But she sat there and took it, and then he left. And then I think later on, when he started thinking about the conversation, it occurred to him that maybe it wasn't a good idea to suggest they send their child across the country to have surgery by herself, because, everybody wants to be able to see Cody. I just, yeah. So father fell there, Cody. Father fell there. Of course, this is all just my opinion. And, you can have whatever opinion you want. Feel free to leave your opinion in the comments for me. Whew. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing it's a season finale. Maybe we need a break from Cody. Um, well, I was just going to say that. Well, Christine calls everybody to Coyote Pass, and she has this wonderful idea. And I feel like Cody kind of set Christine up for failure on this one, because for some reason she told him about it first, as you would tell your husband before you talk to all your sister wives about it. And so she talked to Cody about it, and he wasn't like super supportive, but for some reason she thought that he was going to be. So, they originally had lived in Utah, and the laws were strict against polygamy, and they had fled Utah to Vegas. Well, the laws have recently changed, and now Christine wants to go back home to Utah. So she is sitting with her sister wives and her husband on this land that they have had for 2 years in Flagstaff, Arizona, and have yet to do anything with. They're all living in either rentals, or they, at this point, some of them have bought houses. Robin owns her house, Christine owns her house, and I think the other two are possibly rentals, not too sure. But so, and she's like, yeah, so the law changed, and let's all go back home to Utah. So basically, she said, God said go. Y'all remember I was talking about this on the when I was talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville Melody Hole. Well, it came in today. It was like an early birthday. So y'all, God said go. So God said go, Christine. And she thought that everybody was going to be gung ho and all for it. Nobody was supportive. Nobody, not a one sister. Janelle straight up said there was nothing in Utah for her. That Christine wanted to go because all of Christine's kids, the older kids that have already moved out of the home, a lot of Christine's live in Utah. I mean, Christine had a good idea about, hey, let's go back to Utah where there's like-minded people, with our religion, and we have family there. And no, nobody else felt that way. Mary, love Mary. She is my favorite. She straight up said, she was like, no. She's like, I will own a business in Utah. that my mama lives at, but she feels like Utah, exactly. She feels like Utah kicked them out and didn't want them as polygamists, and she don't want no part of it. She ain't going back. She got her feelings hurt. I wish she would get her feelings hurt and leave Cody. I think all these women are fixing to leave Cody, or Cody, like I said, is going to run off to Mexico. If he does, y'all heard it here first, okay? So Christine gets really upset. She gets really upset, and she walks off away from the group, and Mary goes to comfort her because Mary, for whatever reason, is trying to hold this family together. Even though she is not in a romantic relationship with Cody and he doesn't even come to her house, this is her family. She only has the one daughter, and she's invested 30 years in building a family with these sister wives. So yeah, Mary gets up and goes and comforts Christine, and Christine's pretty much like, I'm over it. I'm over Cody, I'm over here, whatever. And Mary's like, look at the mountains. Remember when we fell in love with this land? And it is really pretty out there. I'm not even going to lie. It is beautiful out there on Coyote Pass. I don't know if it's beautiful enough to have to deal with Cody's ass to live out there, but it's beautiful. And I couldn't imagine how hard it is having to discuss with so many other people about wanting to move. I'm sure it's very hard. But Mary consoles Christine. Never see Cody go over there and console her, and that's pretty much how the episode ends. Is with Christine having the breakdown, Cody Mary telling her to look at the mountains and remember how much you love this land, but this family is in serious jeopardy. They are either going to have a breakdown or a come around. You know what I mean? Like, it is a come to Jesus moment. If they don't all decide that they want the same thing, that this is going to go very, very badly. But hopefully Isabel had her surgery and Cody came to his senses, did not make that poor child feel guilty for wanting to get the surgery that she needs. um I don't know. What do y'all think? Please share your comments with me. Every time you comment on a video, I enter you in a drawing to win a candle bundle. I want to hear what you all think about this season finale. What do you think? Do you think him and Robin are going to have another kid? Do you think Christine is just going to up and leave the family and move to Utah without them? I mean, at this point, does it really matter? Because they're not even really, he is going in between, I guess. Well, no, he's not even going to Christine's house because she was, insisted on traveling and stuff, and he got mad about that. So I think he's just going between Robin and Janelle's. But, Janelle was going out of town, so he wasn't going to be able to see her like all the month of July. So I don't know. I'm not sure when the next season starts, but we definitely have a lot of questions. A lot of questions. Um, I have a lot of questions about why they are all continuing to get into the MLM schemes. All the sister wives, um, are trying to sell something, and I want to know if they really need the money that bad. Are they just trying to cash in on their 15 minutes of fame while they can, or what is their deal? Like, Janelle is pushing or supporting, sponsoring, I don't know, one of those weight loss drinks, a pink one. Mary was selling the LaRue leggings. um Janelle came out on Instagram this week, and she's selling Unique or Young Neek or something like that cosmetics. And she had like a picture with no filter and no makeup. So they're all like, what the hell is Cody doing? What's Cody doing? It's like a genuine question. If anyone knows, besides doing this show, like what's Cody doing? Because I hadn't heard about him doing any work outside the home, just rotating homes. So I'm curious, Cody, what are you doing? What's your plan? You're going to need a job if you run off and leave these four wives because 18 kids, even with some of them being grown, that's going to be a lot of child support. So I don't know. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I will see y'all next time. And remember, do something nice for yourself and do something nice for someone else. God said go. Y'all have a good one. Bye.